Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tera Banacharya. Yamuna Tera Banacharya. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Gopi Jana Vallabha Girivaradhari. Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yashoda Nandana Brajajana Ranjana. Yamuna Tera Vanacharya. Yamuna Tera Vanacharya. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Jaya Radha Madhava Kunja Bihari. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Hare Krishna, Hare Krishna, Krishna Krishna, Hare Hare, Hare Rama, Hare Rama, Rama Rama, Hare Hare. Gora Premanandi, Hare Hare Bo. Thank you. Thank you very much. Yes. Narayanam namaskritya Naram chaiva narottamam Devim saraswatim vyasam Tato jayamudiraye Nasta prayesha vadreshu Nityam bhagavata sevaya Bhagavati uttama shloke Bhaktir bhavati naishtaki Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya Om namo bhagavate vasudevaya Reading from Srimad Bhagavatam, 7th Canto, Chapter 7, Text 34. Something happened here. Okay. Okay, thank you. Nishamya karmani gunam atulyan Biryani lila tanubi kritani Yadati harshot pulakashru gadgadam Protkanta udgayati rauti nrityati Nishamya karmani gunam natulyan Biryani lila tanubi kritani Yadati harshot pulakashru gadgadam Yatadi harshot pulakashru gadgadam Protkanta udgayati rauti nrityati Nishamya karmani gunam atulyan Biryani lila tanubi kritani Yadati harshot pulakashru gadgadam Protkanta udgayati rauti nrityati Samya karmani gunana tulya
Karmani gunana tulyan Viryani lila tanubi kritani Yadati harshot pulakashu gadgadam Protkanta udgayati rauti nrityati Nishamya karmani gunana tulyan Viryani lila tanubi kritani Yadati harshot pulakashru gadgadam Protkanta udgayati rauti nrityati
Nishamya karmani gunana tulyan Viryani lila tanubi kritani Yadati harshot pulakashru gadgadam Protkanta udgayati rauti nrityati
Maharaj?
Yeah, reading the verse.
Before, yeah. I'd like to publicly apologize for chanting before Ashram Maharaj.
That's no big
I
deal.
couldn't see him.
Yeah, I understand. It's an honest mistake. Don't worry.
Yeah, okay.
Was not done purposely, you know. So.
I apologize for causing a fuss.
Okay, I will read the Sanskrit again. This is Srimad Bhagavatam verse 7734. Nishamya karmani gunang atulyam viryani lila tanubi kritani yadati harshot pulakashru gadgadam protkanta udgayati rautin rityati. Nishamya, hearing, karmani, transcendental activities, gunan, spiritual qualities, atulyan, uncommon, not generally visible in an ordinary person, biryani, very powerful, lila tanubi, by different pastime forms, kritani, performed, yada, when, atiharsha, because of great jubilation, utpulaka, or repellation, ashru, tears in the eyes, gadgadam, faltering voice, protkanta, with an open voice, udgayati, chants very loudly, rauti, cries, nrityati, dances. One who is situated in devotional service is certainly the controller of his senses, and thus is a liberated person. When such a liberated person, the pure devotee, hears of the transcendental qualities and activities of the Lord's incarnations for the performance of various pastimes, his hair stands on end, and on his body tears fall from his eyes. And in his spiritual realization, his voice falters. Sometimes he very openly dances, sometimes he sings loudly, and sometimes he cries. Thus he expresses his transcendental jubilation. Purport: the Lord's activity are uncommon. For example, when he appeared as Lord Ramchandra, he performed uncommon activities like bridging the ocean. Similarly, when Lord Krishna appeared, he raised the Govardhan hill when he was only 7 years of age. 7 years of age. These are uncommon activities. Fools and rascals who are not in the transcendental position consider these uncommon activities of the Lord to be mythological. But when the pure devotee, the liberated person, hears about these uncommon activities of the Lord, he immediately becomes ecstatic and exhibits the symptoms of chanting, dancing, and crying very loudly and jubilantly. This is the difference between a devotee and a non-devotee. Om Agyana Timirandasya Gyananjana Salakaya Chakshurum Militam Yena Tasmai Shri Gurave Namaha. I was born in darkest of ignorance, and my spiritual master Srila Prabhupada opened my eyes with a torchlight of knowledge. I offer my humble respectful obeisance unto him. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. So I can see from this verse I'm still a little far from being a devotee, because I don't do any of those things. Although I don't consider the activities of the Lord to be mythological, that's for sure. I used to consider them before I became devotee. I used to read Mahabharata, Ramayana, by impersonalist explanation, and Thought, wow, it's far out, chariots flying in the sky. You know, bridge made of stones. You know. So people who Prabhupada said fools and rascals, he likes to use those words to chastise, practically speaking, everyone, almost everyone on this planet. So it's very interesting that the verse said that somebody who can control his senses is a liberated person. Because the majority of people on this planet, they can't control their senses. They're just being dragged by the senses, you know. They go to a mall, they hear some music. Oh, such nice music, let's buy it, you know. Let's buy it. Oh, this nice, you know, cake here and looks very fancy. Let's have it. Like so they can't control the senses. They're dragged here and there, and they think this Hare Krishna is slavish. They have to wake up at 4 in the morning, you know, to chant. Who wants to do that? They do it in a discotheque, of course, nightclub, and they don't sleep all night, but they are on drugs and alcohol, so otherwise they can't do it. So, and yeah, this weekend they always, you know, you hear people out laughing, crying, and all kind of stuff. Hair standing on end. Maybe horripilation. Somebody's gonna attack them or beat them up. Some thief may steal from them. So, of course, there is the counterpart, the material counterpart of these things are there also. So some drunk people start to shout and chant loudly, you know, but they chant all kind of nonsense, not about God. You know? They may cry also, oh, my heart is broken, my girlfriend left me for my best friend. What a big tragedy. I want to give up my life. So the world is full of broken-hearted people because they think they can be happy with this material relationships. But that's not true. The only true loving relationship that can give us real happiness is with Krishna. He's our best friend. He's the supreme lover, supreme friend, supreme father, mother, everything. So when devotees hear about Krishna's different incarnation activity, like Lord Ramachandra, he built a bridge over the ocean. And how he built it? Just he made the stones to float on water. Yeah, the monkeys were trying the stone, and by looking at them, they will write his name on the stones, and the stones will be floating in the water. Amazing, isn't it? But for God, that's not big deal. I mean, he makes big planets floating in this in space. You know, they call it the law of gravity, whatever law they may want to call it. But it's the energy of God making them floating in space like that. So, of course, when non-devotee, even Indian people, this is mythology. What is this mythology nonsense? Dravida Prabhu, can you please find in the dictionary the meaning of mythology? Yeah, please. Would be nice to know what definition they give it. It's something like made up, you know, some fantasy, you know, idea. It's not real, in few words, not something real, but made up.
a body of myths as that of a particular people or that relating to a particular person. Of course, it's related to myths. So what is a myth? We probably know what a myth is.
Anyway,
a myth is a traditional or legendary story, usually concerning some being or hero or event, with or without a determinable basis of fact or a natural explanation, especially one that is concerned with deities or demigods and explains some practice, rite, or phenomenon of nature.
Okay, so something uncommon that can't be explained.
Yeah.
Legendary. Legendary, you know.
In other words, false.
I mean, it's not. We're not sure if it is true or not. Maybe not. Most probably not, because how is possible that a 7 years old boy can held in his little finger a big mountain? I mean.
Yeah, but you could do it for 5 minutes, but
No. What 5 minutes? Not 1 second. I mean, nobody can do such a thing. But we are talking here about God when He come to this earth planet. Some people believe that God can't come to this world. Why not? If He created this world, if He want to come, He can come. Who can forbid Him? Who can stop Him from coming? And when He comes, He do amazing things, just to prove that He's God. No? Isn't? But people take it, some stories. You know. There's not some stories, there's history. And do you know how Krishna left the Govardhan hill? I mean, the detail, how it came to his finger. He entered the cave in Govardhan, and when he was in the middle of the cave, there was a quartz little hill. He climbed it, and from there he lifted. In the middle was perfectly balanced.
never knew that.
Not going one way or the other. And then he invited everyone to come underneath the big mountain. The mountain is still there, although now it shrunk. Why shrunk? Because there are different explanations, but I like the explanation that Govardhan is feeling separation from Krishna, so he's going. Although more details are there when Agastya Muni brought the mountain from some heavenly planet, and the arrangement was he wanna sit on it to do his meditation, but the mountain Govardhan told him, "Wherever you put me, I will stay there." So when he was passing over Braja, suddenly he felt the calls of nature. So he has to take bath in the Yamuna river, and he put the hill, the Govardhan there, and when he came to lift it, he could not lift it. I mean, a yogi, powerful, can even lift a mountain with two hands, not with one finger, like Krishna did. He has to use the two hands with mystic power, making heavy things light. So Krishna knew he's Yogeshwara, he's the Lord of all mystic powers. All mystic powers reside in him. There is one wonderful pastime of Krishna that he was with his friends, and that day Kamsa sent the fire demon. So while he was having picnic with his friends, the calves, they went away looking for new fresh grass, and they could not see them. So his friends told him, "Krishna, we are gonna go catch, bring them back. Please don't stop having your picnic." So they went far away, following their hoof prints, and they found them in a distant forest. And that moment, that demon arrived, the fiery demon, and he saw so many boys and calves. "Oh, Krishna must be amongst them. Krishna, I'm gonna make a circle of fire around them so they can't escape, to kill all of them along with Krishna." So they were surrounded by fire. They could not escape, so they called for Krishna's help. Krishna, please save us from this danger. Besides you, we have no other protector. You are an only protector, only maintainer, only friend. Please save us. So Krishna appeared in the middle of them. He said, don't be afraid, don't be afraid. Just close your eyes. Some friend thought, oh, Krishna asking us to close eye, maybe he want to chant some secret mantra or some secret mudra or something. But Krishna was thinking something else. Krishna was thinking, if my friends see me swallowing all this big fire, there will be much in anxiety. So I don't want to put them in anxiety. So if you see your friend doing some dangerous thing, you become a little anxious, for his safety, naturally. But besides that, Krishna also taught, once they went to complain to Mother Yashoda that I was eating dirt, and they put me in trouble. But if they go now and tell Mother Yashoda I'm eating fire, I will be much more trouble. So better let them close their eyes. Of course, Mother Yashoda told Krishna, is it true you're eating dirt? No, I'm not. Your friend told me so. Open your mouth, I want to see. And when Krishna opened his mouth, she saw the whole universe inside his mouth. All the galaxies, the planets, inside his mouth. She saw herself caressing Krishna in her lap. So, Krishna is amazing. So, everybody wants to be happy, to feel joy, to feel secure, to have peace of mind. And the only person who can give them all these things, Krishna, they don't accept. No, there's some Hindu god, mythological god. It's amazing, no? Prabhupada said that all religions of the world are looking for God. And we are presenting Him to them. Here is God, Krishna, accept. If you have a better candidate, okay, present. We are open-minded people, God is not Hindu or Christian or Muslim or Jew. It's only one God. I remember when I was a teenager, I asked a priest, the Bible says that we are made in the image of God. So that means God must have a form. Can you please tell me how God looks like? He said, oh, that's a mystery. Nobody has seen God. I thought to myself, how we know that nobody have seen God? And then he spoke with everyone on the planet. Maybe one person have seen God at least. Or knows how he looks like. And the first time I entered the Krishna temple in South America, I asked the devotees, because I didn't get the answer. I started practicing yoga, became vegetarian. But they would say God's energy is everywhere. Everything is God. You're God, I'm God. But also, I believed that for a short time. I remember my mother will tell me, if you misbehave, God will chastise you. Say, how can God chastise me if I am God? Until one day I have a horrible toothache. I have to run to the dentist. I start doubting this philosophy. If I am God, why am I suffering? I think this philosophy is something wrong in there. So I start believing that I am God, or everyone is God. But when I entered the temple, I asked the devotees, can I ask you a question? Yes, yes. For you, how God looks like? And they showed me beautiful painting of Radha Krishna, oil painting, big. Krishna playing the flute. There were cow behind him, peacocks, the river Yamuna with lotus flowers, beautiful nature, some monkey around also. And I look at the painting, I thought, And why not? He really looks very beautiful. He could be God. And I thought to myself, these Hare Krishna people are very brave, you know, or religions of the world looking for God. They have his picture on their temple. That's far out. I need to know more about this. So, I mean to say is, Krishna made it in such a way that that is not easy to understand him. Only through the mercy of pure devotees we can appreciate and understand something about Krishna. Well, actually, Prabhupada once said, don't try to understand Krishna, just love him. Because he's so unlimited, how much we can understand. You know? Of course, we should try to, you know, hear more about Krishna and try to understand as much as possible with the idea to fall in love with him. That's the whole idea. Because he is so wonderful, so beautiful, so full of beautiful, amazing qualities, activities that, you know. Well, because people have prejudice, you know, anything. I tell them, look, you accept religion from Middle East. What's wrong with accepting religion from Far East? It's East anyway. So, but that's the reality, isn't it? That's the reality. What can we do? So here are the beautiful symptoms of somebody who feel pleasure in hearing and chanting about the wonderful transcendental activities of the Lord. And the hair of his body stand on end, tears come from his eyes, he chants loudly. He may look like a madman, like Lord Chaitanya Mahaprabhu. He showed the symptoms. After taking initiation from Ishvara Puri, he started to show his ecstasy to everyone, you know. He will, in the house of Shuklambar Brahmachari, he had a meeting with all his followers. Gadadhar Pandit was also there. And he started speaking to them about Krishna. He said, my way back from Gaya, underneath the tree, I saw a very beautiful bluish boy smiling at me, waving at me to come toward him. And I ran to hug him, and suddenly he disappeared. Please tell me, where shall I go to find Krishna? He will cry with such love that everyone around him will cry along with him. His ecstasy will expand to them. And when he cried, the tears come out of his eyes like rain, you know, wetting everyone. No human being can cry like that, you know. And also at the house of Srivasthakur, the same thing. And his mother, Sachidevi, will be very much worried for his safety because he will fall like a golden road, you know, and she pray for his well-being, you know. Sometime laugh, sometime cry, sometime rolls on the ground, sometime jump high in the air, you know. So one day, some doctors came, Ayurvedic doctors. They were touring, and they came to her home, and she invited them for lunch, prasad. So she took advantage to consult with them. I'm worried about my son. He had the symptoms. He laughed for 3 hours non-stop. He cries for 3 hours non-stop. He rolls on the ground. His teeth touch shivering, clashing. He has shivering all over his body. His body changed colors. Please tell me what are the reason for this and what is the cure? And there were 5 of them studying Ayurveda. We came conclusion that the air of his brain are disturbed. some disturbance in the air brain. But don't worry, we're not going to give you some oil, Shiva or Vishnu oil, and you rub on his head, and for a couple of weeks he will be okay. So the news that Nimai was mad spread all over Navadvip. And some people come to laugh at him, you know. And he will follow them with a stick. But then he asked Srivas Thakur, Srivas, do you think what people are saying about my sickness is true? And Srivas Thakur said, my dear Lord, let those air blow toward me. A little bit, you know. I need some of those air, you know. The symptom you're experiencing, this is the highest ecstasy of Mahabhav that only Radharani experienced. The pure love for Krishna. Please be kind to me. Give me a little of this sickness. I want to have it. Then Mahaprabhu embraces Srivas. Srivas, today you saved my life. If you said the same thing people are saying, I would have jumped in the Ganga. So, and in Zen ecstasy, he will chant, you know, in separation of Krishna. Kahamora prananat murali vadan kahankaram kahampan brajendra nandan kahare kohiva ke vajane mora dukha brajendra nandana vinu fate mora bukha. What is my prananat, the Lord of my life and soul, the Lord of my heart, prananat? What is he? Who? Muralivadan, the flute player. Where shall I go to find him? People of the world don't know about my sorrows, not being able to see the dearest son of Nanda Maharaj. He's the dearest to all the inhabitants of Braja. Not being able to see him, my heart is broken. He will cry. And it seems suffering, but it's another type of ecstasy. You know? When the tears are cold, this is happiness. And when they're hot, means sadness. So still were cold because he was feeling ecstasy, happiness. And loving Krishna, feeling his absence. One day he went to visit the temple, Lord Jagannath. It was a big festival, was very crowded. And he will stay next to the Garuda Stamba. And one old lady wanted to see Lord Jagannath, but she was chubby, so she could not see much. So, being very desperate, very eager to see the Lord, she climbed on the shoulders of Lord Chaitanya. And the devotee were trying to pull her down, but Chaitanya said, that's okay. I wish to have the anxiety she has to see Lord Jagannath. He praised her. Of course, everybody will see Jagannath, but Lord Chaitanya will not see. He will see. Jagannath will show him his two-armed form playing the flute. And when it was just 2 weeks before Ratha Yatra, there was a bedding ceremony, Abhisheka, and for 2 weeks, Lord Jagannath will not give darshan to the people. So Chaitanya Mahaprabhu will go to some other temple. You know which temple? Alanath, yes. And there in that Alanath temple was established by Brahma, actually, it is said, the deity. There is a deity of Narayan with 4 arms. So the question, if he's feeling separation from Krishna, why he will go to that temple to see Narayan? The answer is related to one Pastimes. When Krishna was hiding from the gopis, to play a joke on them, he took 4 armored forms. And when they passed through, Narayan obeisances, have you seen Krishna passing through? And Narayan smiled this way. But Rahani looked at him so intensely that the 2 extra arms melted. He could not hide from her Mahabhav, her ecstasy. So when Chaitanya Mahaprabhu would go to that temple of Alanath, Narayan would show him his 2 armored form playing the flute. And when he paid obeisance to the Lord, the body of the Lord was feeling so much heat of love and separation that the stone melted. And the form of his body is still there, you know. You can go and see it. The stone melted. Amazing, is it? And Lord Chaitanya did many miracles. Like in the Ratha Yatra festival, he arranged 7 different groups of devotees chanting, dancing. And he will visit each one of them to encourage them chanting, dancing. And at certain moment, he expanded himself into 7 and was on the 7 group at the same time. Each group thought, oh, he's only with us, he likes us more. Some devotee could see the miracle, you know, being done. And also one day, he asked the devotees, after chanting loudly, for so many hours, he asked them, are you hungry? Yes. What do you like to eat? Mango. Was no mango season at that time. He said, get me a dried seed. Somebody found a dry seed. He put it in the ground, watered it with some water, and immediately a tree would start growing. In few minutes, 5 minutes, a huge tree with big, ripe, big mangoes. And the skin very thin, and the seed very small. So he offered the mangoes to Krishna and gave each devotee one mango like this size, you know, fill up one man, you know. And all devotees were in ecstasy eating this mango. And immediately after that, the tree just disappeared in midair. So devotee, oh, this is like Krishna creating the universe for some time and then withdrawing. Like a spider, you know. Make a web and then get it back. So, also the creation of the material world is a pastime of the Lord. So Lord Chaitanya in Shastaka, he prays like this. What is that verse? Before Ashlishya Vapadaratam Pinashtumam. Yugayitam nimeshena chakshusha pravishayitam shunyayitam jagat sarvam govinda virahayam. Feeling separation from Govinda. A moment is like ages. I see the world all vacant. Tears flowing from my eyes like torrent of rains. So, this is love, you know. Pure love for God. So, what actually saint experience by loving God? All the symptoms are described here. They feel so much happiness in remembering God and hearing about Him, in chanting about Him, discussing about Him. Sometimes they have to repress their ecstasy, not to show it in front of strangers. Once a devotee was asked by Prabhupada, asked him, why you didn't go to the kirtan? Prabhupada, I didn't go because I didn't want everybody to see me crying. Prabhupada said, if they are devotees, they will understand. That's okay. You can do it, no problem. But not in front of newcomers, strangers. They will not understand. Like that. So, I mean, we should try to train our mind to see everything in relation to Krishna. We may go to the airport to fly somewhere or wait for somebody to come, and we see people, crying because some dear ones are living somewhere. So we can immediately remember, when Krishna left Vrindavan, the gopis were crying for him like that. So, of course, these are not to be imitated. These are not to be imitated. The symptoms, I mean. Prabhupada said, anybody can learn how to cry, There are some professional groups who do that. They come, make a performance of chanting, rolling in the ground, crying, but then after a few minutes they are smoking and drinking. So the real symptom of somebody really advanced, he's detached from sense gratification. He has full control of his mind and senses. Then you can know this is genuine, How detaches from satisfying the body more than necessary. I mean, we need to eat, we need to sleep. Last night I slept only 3 hours, not because I wanted to, I just woke up. I tried to go back to sleep, couldn't. Okay, let me chant. I was chanting, I was happy chanting in the middle of the night, 1 in the morning. So, I mean to say, this body is troublesome. And I was thinking, when the time of death comes, I pray I can remember Krishna. That's the only thing. And there's a lot of suffering at the time of death. And it's not the first time we're going to experience death. We have experienced many times. We just don't remember. But it's very traumatic. We have no idea how troublesome it is. Only the person who's experienced it knows the amount of suffering, mental anguish, pain, extreme pain in the body. So the whole idea of human life is to prepare ourselves so that will be our last death. No more death. No more rebirth. It's possible in this human form of life. We should not leave it for the next life. We should try our best this life. Because in this human life it's possible to achieve that. We just need to be more surrendered, that's all. We keep resisting. Okay, surrender at a certain limit, no more than that. No, but Krishna demands full surrender. He doesn't like, wishy-washy. Like Lord Jesus Christ in the Bible, I don't like, what do you call? Not cold, not hot.
Lukewarm.
Lukewarm. I don't like lukewarm either. One thing or the other. Of course, Krishna consciousness is a gradual process for beginners, but when somebody is already there for years, so it's supposed to, not to keep oneself lukewarm. Lukewarm or lukewarm? Lukewarm. No. We shouldn't, I remember that song the devotees made in the 70s. You remember that song from the one album? I don't remember the name of the album. We should not surrender to this burning desire. We depend on the mercy of, on your reign of mercy, Lord, to put off the fire. Remember that song? That's what called this album? Vinyl album. And Prabhupada heard the song, actually he liked it in Los Angeles. I don't remember the name of the devotee. Mangalananda, yeah. We're not going to surrender to this burning desire. We're depending on you, Lord, on the rain of mercy, something like that. Anyway, so this material was like a forest on fire, forest on fire. Nobody, usually speaking, nobody goes to put a fire in the forest. Some crazy people may do, but generally speaking, in the hot season, bamboo sticks may, with the sun and the wind, some sparkle may come out and suddenly big fire there in the forest. And no matter how many firefighter will come, they can't put it down. Only when it rains, it's possible. That's why the rain of mercy, that means coming through Krishna and his pure devotees, the cyclic succession, to calm down the mind, the heart of all souls, to give them peace, self-control and happiness in serving Krishna. All right, any comment, questions, corrections? Please pass the mic.
Oh. Earlier when you recounted the story of the questions that got you into trouble and then how it was resolved when you went to the temple, it reminded me of my youth. When I was probably 7 years old, we were from a prominent family in a small town, big fish in a small pond. And our minister from our church would come to our home fairly regularly for dinner. And one night after dinner, I guess the grown-ups were sitting in the living room drinking coffee. And I was sitting on the couch with the minister, and he asked me if I had any questions. And I said, actually, I have two questions. What's God like? And what are we supposed to do? And he didn't have real answers for those. But
how old was you?
About 7. I don't know where those questions came.
Very inquisitive at such a young age.
I actually have a counter narrative but I won't share it here, for those who think I might have been too spiritually precocious. Okay. So maybe 15 years later, when I was 22, after chanting with the devotees and speaking with them, and the first time I went to the temple in Honolulu, this was in 1969, 1970, the deity on the altar was Govindadasi's murti of Kartamisha. So it's like 5-year-old Krishna, sassy with his hand on his hip. It's like the boss of the household. And I come from a very Protestant background, but when I saw Kartamisha, I didn't think it was weird or exotic. I didn't think about idols or anything. The only thought I had was, if that's Krishna, I see why they worship him, because he's really beautiful.
Yeah.
So I had kind of a similar experience.
Oh, wonderful. Thank you for sharing it. Anybody else?
I have a comment, if I may.
Hi, Krishna Maharaj. Maharaj, you mentioned that creation of the material world is Krishna's pastime.
Yes.
I was wondering if we could shine more light on that.
Okay. I mean, Krishna doesn't have to create the material world. He created the material world for our sake, to help us. Two things. Because we are part of him, he loves us, so we wanted to enjoy separately from him. So to please our desire, he created this material world. But more importantly, the second reason is that when we are tired of trying to be happy in a place full of misery and death and, suffering, we try to find answers. I mean, suffering, misery makes you try to find answers, where is the real thing, where is the real happiness? I'm not finding it here. So that's the main purpose of creating the you, is out of His kindness and mercy. It is His pastime in the sense He doesn't have to do anything. He could have put us to sleep forever. No, don't bother Him. But no, because He loves us. Prabhupada said, when you start loving Krishna, you will realize how much He loves you. So all the creation material universe is an expression of His love for all souls, part of Him. To give them opportunity to try to enjoy separately and at the same time suffering and try to eventually rectify themselves. So that's the whole idea of creation. Hare Krishna. And also the Absolute Truth has to have everything. Nothing shall be lacking. The perfect spiritual world, eternal, full of, and the material world. Both things has to be there for the Absolute Truth to be total, complete. And it's free will. Krishna doesn't force anyone to come here. Sometimes teenagers fight their parents, say, why you brought me here? I didn't ask you to. But actually, we wanted, we may have forgotten. So now, as humans, we can ask the questions. Why am I here in this world? Why am I suffering? What is there after that? Who created all this? Planets and stars in the sky. Before the Big Bang theory, there was another theory of the universe. You know that? I don't remember the name of the person, but the theory was the universe is eternal. There's no beginning, no creation. So therefore there's no creator. No need for creator because it always existed. But then one Christian astronomer studying the sky, the cosmos, with big, telescope, he found out mathematically speaking that the galaxies were distancing themselves from each other. So he came to the conclusion by a study to prove mathematically that the universe is expanding. So, of course, he wanted to prove that there was creation. But the atheist scientists, they took it all. Big Bang. There was beginning, yes, but that was by chance. Every matter exploded. There was no creator, no God, just matter exploding and became planets, became sun, stars, and come on. This is nonsense. By chance, everything came up, You see, everything has a shape and a purpose. This microphone has a shape and a purpose to amplify the sound. So it has a shape, has a purpose. And if it has a shape, somebody made it. You see the snowflake? They have different varieties of very, very symmetrical, beautiful forms under the microscope. I mean, that's by chance? Come on. But anyway, the world is full of ignorance, full of atheism. Now they teach in the school, universities, colleges, everywhere, that the Big Bang and Darwin's evolution. No God, no need for God to explain the universe, to explain life. Nonsense. But we know, because we accept the authority of the Vedas, and the Guru, spiritual master, to know things as they are. That's very important. If I am in this world, I want to know what is this world about. If I'm a soul, I want to experience it. If there is a God, I want to know Him. I want to see Him one day. When I'm prepared, qualified, God is not my order supplier. Come, I want to see you. It doesn't work like that. One has to become pure of heart. No? Once a student challenged Prabhupada, have you seen God? And Prabhupada told him, are you prepared to accept any answer I give you? There is no way for you to prove anything. He said, yes, I will accept anything you say. Prabhupada said, yes, I have seen God. And actually Prabhupada did see Krishna, you know that. That what happened in 72 or 73. Prabhupada was chanting in his room, and Sudama came in the room, and he saw Prabhupada crying. So he silently left the room. But then one lady gave him some garments. Oh, he may need it right now. Please take it in the room. So again he entered very silently. And when he was going to leave, Prabhupada called him, Sudama, come. Do you know why I'm crying? No. Because by the mercy of my Guru, now I am seeing Krishna. And Sudama started crying. And Prabhupada asked him, why you're crying? I said, I don't know. I don't deserve to have such a wonderful spiritual master like you. I'm so fallen. Prabhupada smiled. This is Krishna's arrangement. Who knew that I will come here, that you will come to me? That's all Krishna's arrangement. Huh? So, the ladies have any question? No? What do you think about all this? You like it? Oh.
You both chanted the whole time.
Huh?
Japa period.
Wonderful. How you felt by chanting? Wow, great. Happy to hear. Have you done it before?
I've chanted
Ah.
but never for
That's just long, huh? Nice experience, isn't it? I tell you, I started visiting the temple, and one day one devotee gave me japa to chant because I went to Mangalarti. And I took it home. I kept chanting at home. I was practicing yoga, I was vegetarian and everything. And one day, I was alone at home. They left, went somewhere. And I kept chanting. I couldn't stop chanting for 3, 4, 5, 6 hours. Non-stop, couldn't stop chanting. Was like, I could have full concentration in the chanting. That's why I couldn't stop. No? And I have a wonderful experience. I don't mention the details. But was very nice experience. Out of body experience. And I saw a picture of Krishna. Felt so much love coming from the picture. And the mind became very peaceful, very quiet, like a lake, No thought will come unless I wanted to. I could think of Krishna only. And not just for a few days, for months. When my parents came back, I gave them the good news. I made up my mind, tomorrow I'm going to become a monk, Hare Krishna monk. They didn't like it, of course, they said. My father said, stop your madness. My mother was crying, Okay, you always ask me to lend you my car. I will buy you a new car. Stay at home. Stop your madness. And I told them, no, this is for real. This is my calling. I feel the calling, And I told them, you should be happy that I'm going to the temple. Why? We don't want you to. Say, because remember, you told me that when I was born, you made the promise to God that if I will survive, because my other brothers did die, three of them. So you made the promise that if I will survive death, you will offer me to God and dress me as a monk for 3 years. From age 2 to 5, I was dressed like a little monk, like Franciscan monk, I have pictures of that. So I told them, look, you should be happy. I'm helping you to fulfill your promise to God, They say, well, we meant the Christian God, not the Hindu God. So you should have been more specific then. God is one. God is not Hindu or Christian or Muslim. Don't worry, I will go. If I don't like it, I will come back. They said, oh, okay, come back soon. I said, okay, let's see. I said that just to pacify them. I didn't have the intention to come back. Only for visit maybe, but not for good. And after 2 weeks, they came to visit, 2 brothers, 2 sisters, and parents. I gave them prasad. They loved the prasad. They loved the temple. Beautiful. Temple on the hill. You can see all the valleys surrounded by mountains.
Where was this man?
Venezuela, Caracas, capital, Venezuela. The garden full of roses and tulsi plants. So I told them, how did you find the address? Because in my excitement, I forgot to give you the address. And it wasn't in the yellow pages. The movement South America was only 1 year in the country. And they lived in another city. They didn't live in the capital. They lived like 2 hours away. And my younger sister told me, I will tell you the truth. Not knowing how to find you, we went to see a psychic. And he asked for your picture. And with your picture, he sent this a ghost to find you. And that's how he came here. He gave us the address, the ghost. I said, really? You're not making up the story? No, this the real. That's what happened. Well, that's good. The ghost did some service. He brought it to the temple. Mythology. In Venezuela, there's a saying, I don't believe in witches, but they can fly. Okay. Thank you very much. Srila Prabhupada ki jai. Gaur Premanandi Haribo.